Hey everyone, we're back with another episode of The Zurvivalist. I'm your host, Matt Jarbo, here with Phil from Philadelphia. Now, Phil, all jokes aside from where you are and where you live, how you doing today?
Doing pretty good. Glad to be on.
That's great. Glad to have you here. All right, so let's just, get down to it. I know you're excited. You told me beforehand that you were, prepping some stuff. How would you
Yes.
survive a zombie outbreak?
Well, if I could relate a quick anecdote from when you contacted me, when I contacted you and got the email, I had to go to a wake in between those emails.
Oh, wow.
And as it ended up, I was standing in front of the deceased for several minutes, and I couldn't get out of my head. I was just thinking zombie stuff. Like, what if this guy sits up? What if, what if, why can't I think normal, depressing thoughts? So actually, thanks for getting me by the wake.
Well, we aim to please her on the show. But while you're at the wake, were you looking around for anything that could be used as a weapon to bash the deceased's head in if they did decide to rise from the dead?
Yeah, there were swords. There were, I guess, knights, something like that. So a bunch of old guys with swords and lots of flower vases that I guess I could have mashed some heads in.
Well, if you played Dead Rising, then you probably know what can be done with those with those vases.
Yeah, funny you bring up Dead Rising because they're burying him with his favorite camera, and it was sitting on his chest, and I kept thinking, Frank! So I kept going through my head.
Well, as long as you weren't in a mall, I guess it's all good.
Yeah. I've given some thought in the past few moments about a zombie outbreak, Z-Day, and I think a fundamental difference is that to me, it would be an extinction level event. I'm not very spiritual. To me, it would be the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
There wouldn't be any government to come and, fix things. So to me, that would be kind of calling me kamikaze. It would just be a transition to chaos. I think I would kill my wife and my unborn child. Nothing violent, but
you mean
they would not make it.
If they were bit, or you would just do ritualistic suicide, basically?
Yeah, well, I guess it would be ritualistic murder because I ain't going out. Just simply, they would hinder my transformation into chaos. I would like to kind of go a little nuts before the end of the world, and I would rather not have to worry about their well-being, have a nice dinner. Depends on how great the outbreak would be. But then sleeping pills, whiskey, suffocation. Then burn the house down. Actually, that'd be kind of awkward because I have to go to my brother-in-law. I have to go to her brother's because he's got all the weapons. I guess I would just lie. I don't know. Somebody lit the house on fire. I got out. She didn't. Give me some guns. But
you use that rage of losing a sister and an unborn niece or nephew to allow him to give you weaponry, which I would assume you would then turn on him.
Well, no, he's cool. And he's got a lot of ammo. He's got a lot of fun toys in the gun department, and I guess there's a plan B and a plan A. Plan B is a little more suicidal in that you just kind of get with easy access to a U-Haul truck. And there's this place called Bowman's Hill Tower. It's a bit north.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of this monumental tower to George Washington. It's got a great command of the Delaware and 14 miles inland. And if anybody else is listening, and you're going there also, expect a big gunfight, because I imagine there's going to be a lot of people that want to get up on that tower. You could fit 4 or 5 people up there comfortably, a lot of supplies, and just see how long we last.
But yeah, you'd probably would you at that point, because no one really on the show ever talks about encountering other people, and I've asked the questions. I've always wanted to know, would you fight other people? I mean, we had that one woman on from Puerto Rico you mentioned earlier who, in that interview, she would cut people who got in between her and her kids. So,
right.
I mean, I'm assuming that you would probably go Rambo on some people if they got in your way, or you just saw them.
Well, it depends. I guess the plan A would be to head south. I think I could get pretty far on, not to sound too gay, but on a bicycle. Manpower. I can ride along the canal, and if zombies become a problem, I can hopefully jump into the water, and they won't be swimming zombies of any sort. Maybe get some ground there. But yeah, people, I don't think, if I had just killed my wife and child, I probably wouldn't have any trouble killing anybody just for the sake of killing. I definitely would kill a few assholes right after I got to my brother-in-law. So all right, end of the world. I'm going to bring about this guy's end a little bit quicker.
Sure, I mean, what better way than the zombie apocalypse to settle some personal scores?
Yeah. I think I would just try to go south as much as possible and steal me a boat.
So your boat. Now, what? I'm unfamiliar. I'm on the West Coast and you're on the East Coast. I'm unfamiliar with that general area. So what? Like, is it a major? Like, is it like the boat would be on a river, be on a lake? Would you have a destination in mind?
Yeah, I have pretty quick access to the Delaware Canal when lead out to the Atlantic, and I would just kind of go south down the coast. I really don't have that much boating knowledge. I'm pretty sure I could manage a small craft, just make little raids from the shoreline and kind of go down
and restock.
Yeah, go down Ocean City, Virginia Beach, hell, go all the way down to Daytona. Keep heading that direction. See how long I last. See what kind of fun is to be had in my new chaotic form.
And then you reach Cuba eventually, and you get a mojito or something.
Yeah,
because I'm pretty sure that Cubans wouldn't be affected because they've had a blockade on their entire society since the 50s. So gotta love that embargo. You should be okay.
Well, I'm pretty white. I don't know how well I could get myself in there. But
well, yeah, if you have enough supplies, you could barter your way in.
Yeah, and if I've been out in the water that long, perhaps I'd tan well. But I would definitely shoot for sport, too. Humans, zombies, if you're in the zone, you're going down.
Okay, well, let me ask you this, and let's say you get through all those, you make it down wherever you're going on the Atlantic, and you get there and you wait a while, like a couple months or something like that, and gradually society starts to take hold. Now, granted, it would be like the apocalypse, but there would be remnants and fragments of people still around. Would you rejoin society and try to make it work, or would you just stay a recluse, or what would you do?
Probably go marauder. Again, I'd have to harken back to the fact that I, changed my life dramatically when I didn't give my wife a chance. She's very upset about this, by the way. She's curious why I wouldn't let her have a chance.
I'm sure. I can understand her being upset. Yeah.
But she hasn't watched as many movies. 2 movies. That's not. You don't know anything about zombies. So.
Well, I mean, you got to give him a fighting chance. She may know more than you think. I mean, she's maybe watched that movie Whip It. Drew Barrymore directed about women empowering on rollerblades. You never know.
I think you're really taking away my notion of killing my wife here.
Well, I'm not trying to take it away. I'm just trying to, I ask questions. That's what I do on the show. Okay, so you'd go marauder. You would definitely stay marauder.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of skills I could offer a new society. I don't think they're going to need customer service reps in the new world there. Probably the only way I could get away with surviving at that point would be to be an asshole and steal from others. They'd just get done harvesting all their grain, and I'd run in there with my crew or be part of a crew and would steal their food, that sort of thing.
Well, that sounds like an evil plan, but a plan nonetheless, and that's why we have the show. So, because we're kind of running out of time here, I got to ask the last question. What would you do if you were bit?
Yes, this question, if I were bit. If I knew, let's say if we had enough information to know when the transformation would take place, I would like to time it so that I could kind of skydive in my transformation, because the last thing anybody's going to expect is a zombie via parachute.
True.
And it would just be to fuck with people, ultimately.
Well, now they did that.
Naked, also. Naked
be
zombie.
A naked zombie in a parachute.
Yes.
And, I mean, they tried that in, I don't know if you ever read the Zombie Survival Guide. They mentioned that kind of stuff in there. But, because we're running out of time, where would you parachute?
Like in the most heavily populated area that I could. If I truly wanted to be part of chaos, then I would, if there was like a safety zone, and they were like, hey, there's a guy parachuting, he made it. If I had the resources to do that, and then just come right in, flying bite to the head.
Well, I'm pretty sure you could find other anarchists out there that'd be willing to help you with your master plan of keeping it going. And with that, that's all the time we have for this week. Phil, thank you very much for being on the show. You were the most interesting person so far that I've talked to, which was fantastic. And for all of you guys listening at home, you can find us at on our Facebook page, facebook.com/KZOM Radio. Also, we are on Blip TV, so look for that link. And if you can, please subscribe to our Facebook page and our YouTube page. We'll see you guys next week on the show. This is Matt Jarbo for the Zurvivalist, and see you later.